Hello and welcome to week 13 tutorial of CS311. In this video, we are going to have a look at question 10.7 from the ninth edition of the operating system concepts. So the question says it is sometimes said that type is a sequential access medium, whereas a magnetic disk is a random access medium. In fact, the suitability of a storage device for random access depends on the transfer size. So we have two devices given here. One is the magnetic type and the other one is the magnetic disk. So the magnetic disk looks something like this. So this disk has a rotating arm which can be placed anywhere on the disk and the data can be accessed randomly. That is why this is known as a random access device. The other one is, so the tape drive is a storage device that reads and writes data on a magnetic tape which has rails on it. So it looks something like this. And we cannot access the data until we sequentially move through the reel, because the reel has to be rotated physically until we reach the desired location. Then it says the term streaming transfer rate denotes the rate for a data transfer that is underway, excluding the effect of latency. In contrast, the effective transfer rate is the ratio of total bytes per total seconds, including overhead time such as excess latency. Now we will look at the definition of streaming transfer rate and effective transfer rate in a while with an analogy. So for now, let's read through the question. Then it says, suppose we have a computer with the following characteristics. The level to cache has an access latency of 8 nanoseconds and a streaming transfer rate of 800 megabytes per second. The main memory has an access latency of 16 nanoseconds and a streaming transfer rate of 80 megabytes per second. The magnetic disk has an access latency of 15 milliseconds and a streaming transfer rate of 5 megabytes per second. And a type drive has an access latency of 60 seconds and a streaming transfer rate of 2 megabytes per second. So there are some information given here in the second part of the question. So what I'll do is I'll note down this important information. So I'll make a table here with the 3 columns. One would be the storage type, the other would be the access latency, and the third one is the streaming transfer rate. So the first one that we have in here is the level to cache. The access latency is 8 nanoseconds and the streaming transfer rate is 800 Mbps. Then next one is the main memory. The access latency is 60 nanoseconds and the streaming transfer rate is 80 Mbps. The next one is magnetic disk. The access latency is 15 milliseconds and the streaming transfer rate is 5 Mbps. And then the last one is the type drive. The access latency is 60 seconds and the streaming transfer rate is 2 Mbps. So these are the information that we are given in the question. We have 4 devices. We have 4 storage types and the access latency and the streaming transfer rate for each of those storage is given. Now we are given one more information over here, and that is the formula for the effective transfer rate, and that is the ratio of the total bytes per the total seconds. So effective transfer rate is the total file size that was to be transferred divided by the total time it took to transfer that file, and that time includes the time to transfer that file plus the time to access that file, which is the access latency. So we can say effective transfer rate is equal to the total size to transfer divided by the total time it took to transfer that file, including the latency. And this total time that is given here includes the latency as well. So we can simplify this formula. We can say ETR is equal to, we can say size of the file divided by total time. And we also know that the total time is inclusive of the latency. So we can say total time is equal to the file size that was to be transferred divided by the speed of the transfer plus the latency, which is the excess latency. Now we have two formulas here and two terms. One is the effective transfer rate and the other one is the streaming transfer rate. So what is the difference between the two? Now I'll again make a table over here and try to give an analogy of the difference between the terms that we have over here, that is the effective transfer rate, the total size, total time, and the streaming transfer rate. So first one is the total size to transfer. The next one is the latency. Next is the streaming transfer rate, or we can say the speed of the transfer. And then finally we have the effective transfer rate, that is ETR. Now I'll try to give an analogy of what these terms mean. So let's say when you get into a taxi and you want to go from point A to point B, and the distance between point A to point B is, let's say, 15 kilometers. So the size that we have over here refers to the distance, right? And in our case, from this storage example, that size will refer to the size of the file that is to be transferred, let's say 20 MB. Then the next one is latency. So when we get into a taxi, they always start with a flat rate of $1.50 or $2. But this depends on different location, the time of the day. For example, during the day it is $1.50. At night it is probably $2. And if you get from a airport, then usually it is $5. So that is the fixed rate, right? It doesn't matter how many kilometers you travel after getting into the taxi. The starting rate is always fixed, whether you go 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, or 100 kilometers. You always start with a fixed rate. For the storage example, it doesn't matter whether you access a 20 MB file or a 50 GB file. There will be some delay for actually locating the file in the disk. And that is going to be constant across different devices. So let's say the latency is 20 milliseconds. Then what is the streaming transfer rate? So for the taxi example, this is the rate that you pay every kilometers. So I think that is $1 per kilometer. So this is apart from this $1.50, right? You pay $1.50 first, and then for every kilometer traveled, you pay $1. And that is the actual rate of the taxi. Then for this storage example, after you have located the file in this 20 milliseconds, then the speed at which the file is transferred is the streaming transfer rate. So let's say the speed at which the file is transferred is 5 Mbps. Then what about ETR, or effective transfer rate? Now to get the effective transfer rate, this actually refers to the, we can say, the average of the entire trip or the entire transfer. So to find the ETR, you are going to find the total charge that you were charged. So for this 15 kilometer travel, you will pay $15 for every kilometer. And to that, you are going to add the flat rate, which was $1.50. So the total charge we have is $16.50. And then we are going to divide this by the total distance traveled. So that would be 16.5 divided by 15. So now this basically means is on average, you have paid $1.10 for every kilometer traveled, right? That is including this flat rate of $1.50. Then for the storage example, the ETR would be the size of the transfer divided by the total time. So the size of the transfer is 20 MB, and that divided by the total time. So the total time is going to be the time it took to transfer this file, which is 5 Mbps. So if the file size is 20 Mbps and the speed is 5 Mbps, then it is going to take 4 seconds. Right? 20 divided by 5 is 4. So it took 4 seconds to transfer this file. And to this time, we are also going to include the time that took us to actually locate the file, which was 20 milliseconds. So the effective transfer rate would be the size of the file divided by the total time of transfer, which is the actual transfer time for the file plus the time it took to locate the file, which is the latency. Right, and that is how we get this formula here. So the total time is the file size divided by the speed of transfer plus the latency, right? That will give us the total time it took to transfer the file. and then effective transfer rate would be the size of the file, which is going to remain the same, divided by total time, and the total time is inclusive of the file transfer time plus the time it took to locate the file. So if we try to combine these two equations to get a final formula for ETR, so what we'll do is we will replace this TT by size divided by speed plus latency. So that is size divided by, and in place of time we are going to substitute the equation for time, which is size divided by speed plus latency, right? So you can either use these two formula to find the ETR or use this single formula. So to use this formula, you will first have to find the total time, and then once you get the total time, you will plug that in this first formula to get the ETR. Then we have part I that says random access causes the effective transfer rate of a device to decrease because no data is transferred during the access time. So if we look at the text example, then in the latency that we have, or we can say the flat rate, in that amount, we haven't actually transferred any distance, right? The moment you get into the car, you pay $1.50. So same thing over here. When you are locating the file, you are not actually transferring any data. So the effective transfer rate would decrease, right? And the formula proves that as well. We have size divided by total time. So if we increase the total time, right, then the ETR is going to decrease, okay, because these two are inversely proportional. Then it says for the disk described, what is the effective transfer rate if an average access is followed by a streaming transfer rate of, so there are 4 file sizes given. One is 512 bytes, 8 KB, 1 MB, and 16 MB. So I'll make a table for each of these file sizes, and we will first find the transfer time for these files using this formula, and then we will find the ETR. So we have the file size, then we will find the transfer time, and then we will find the ETR, which is the effective transfer rate, or we can say the effective speed of the transfer. So the first file is 512 bytes, the next one is 8 KB, then we have 1 MB and 16 MB. Now to find the transfer time, we are going to use this formula, which is size divided by speed plus latency. So the size of the file is 512 bytes. Then we have the speed of the transfer. So in the question, it says that we are looking at the disk described. That means we are going to look at the transfer speed of the disk, which is 5 Mbps. Now the size of the file is 512 bytes, but the speed of the transfer is in megabytes. So we will have to convert them into same units. So we'll convert them to bytes. So we will do 512 bytes divided by 5 Mbps. So 5 Mbps would be 5 times 1024 times 1024. So this will give the speed in bytes per second. So 5 MB is equal to this many bytes per second. And along with this, we are going to add the latency. So the latency of the magnetic disk is 15 milliseconds. Now, since this part will be calculated in seconds, right? Because we are dividing 512 bytes divided by this many bytes per second. So the value that we will get over here will be in seconds, right? That means we will also need to convert this 15 milliseconds into seconds. So 15 milliseconds would be equal to 15 divided by 1000. And this is the amount that we get, 0.015. So the transfer time for this file of size 512 bytes at the speed 5 Mbps with the latency of 15 milliseconds is equal to this value. And if you want, you can round off the answer to 3 or 4 decimal places. But I'll leave it to this whole amount so that the follow-up answers are as accurate as possible. Then what about the effective transfer rate? So effective transfer rate is equal to size of the file divided by the transfer time, and we have got the transfer time. So we will plug that in the ETR formula. So that would be equal to the size of the file, which is 512 bytes divided by the transfer time, which is this amount, that is 0.015, and we get the effective transfer rate as 33912, and this is in bytes per second because the file size is bytes. You can convert this to MB or KB, whichever is suitable. So let's convert this to kbps. So we'll just simply divide this amount by 1024, and we will get this in kbps. So you can either say 33912 bytes per second or 33.12 KB per second. So the effective transfer rate to transfer this file of size 512 is 33.12. Then the next one is 8 KB. So again, we will use the same formula, that is size divided by speed plus latency. Now once again, we will have to make sure that the units are same. So the file size is given in KB and the speed is given in MB. So we can convert the 5 Mbps to kbps. So that would be equal to 5 times 1024. This will give 5 Mbps in kbps. And then along with this, we have the latency, which is 15 milliseconds. So once again, that is 15 divided by 1000, and we get 0.0165. Then the effective transfer rate would be the size of the file, which is 8 KB divided by this time, and we get 483. Now since the size is in KB, then this answer is also in KB. So that is KB per second. Right, so there's no need to convert this to any other unit because I think this looks acceptable. Then the next one is 1 Mbps. So the formula again is size divided by speed plus latency. Size is in MB and the transfer rate is also in MB. So this time we don't have to do any conversion. We can just simply write 1 divided by 5. And along with this, we have the latency, which is 15 milliseconds. So that is 15 divided by 1000 seconds. And we get 0.215. Then the effective transfer rate would be the size of the file, which is 1 MB divided by the transfer time, which is this much. And we get the effective transfer rate as 4.65. And this would be Mbps because the size of the file is in MB. And then the last one, so once again, size divided by speed. So size is 16 divided by speed of 5 plus the latency, which is 15 milliseconds, and we get 3.215. And then finally the effective transfer rate is going to be the file size, which is 16 divided by the transfer time of 3.12, and we get 4.97 MB per second. The next one says the utilization of a device is the ratio of effective transfer rate to the streaming transfer rate. Calculate the utilization of the disk drive for each of the 4 transfer sizes given in part A. So we have got one more formula over here, which is the utilization, and it is saying that the utilization is equal to the effective transfer rate divided by the streaming transfer rate. So we can say U is equal to ETR divided by STR. So we have to find the utilization of the disk drive for each of the 4 file transfer sizes given in part A. So for that magnetic disk, we have to find the utilization for each of those files that we are given. So once again, I'll make a table. So one would be the file size. Then we have the effective transfer rate. And using that, we have to find the utilization. So the file sizes were these 4 values. Then we have the ETR. And using that ETR, we have to find the utilization. So the formula for the utilization is ETR divided by STR. Now the streaming transfer rate for the magnetic disk is 5 Mbps. So that is going to remain for all of these file sizes because they refer to this magnetic disk. So since we are going to divide the ETR by the streaming transfer rate, which is in Mbps, let us convert all of these ETR values into MB. So the first one is in bytes per second. So to get the ETR in megabytes per second, we are going to divide this value by 1024 times 1024. So dividing it by 1024 will give the answer in kbps. and then dividing again will give in Mbps. All right, so these values are same, just that this is in bytes per second and this is in megabytes per second. Then for the 8 KB size, we have 483 kbps. So to get the answer in megabytes per second, we will divide this value by 1024 because that is in kbps. Then the next one is 1 mbps. So the effective transfer rate for this 1 MB file is 4.65 MB. So this is already in MB, so we will leave it as it is. And then finally for the 16 MB, the ETR is 4.97 MB. So now each of these units are all in Mbps, and this makes it easy to find the utilization because we can just simply divide this by 5 and we will get the utilization capacity. So the utilization, the formula is ETR divided by STR. So ETR is for the first one, that is 512 bytes, it is 0.32, and we will divide that by 5 Mbps. Then for this one again we will divide it by 5, right? And then for the remaining ones again the formula remains the same. So this is our answer for part B. Then part C says, suppose that a utilization of 25% or higher is considered acceptable. Using the performance figures given, compute the smallest transfer size for disk that gives acceptable utilization. Now, if we look at these values, the utilization is 0.006 for the first one, then it is 0.094 for the second one. So one thing you might notice is for a smaller file, the utilization is very low. And for larger files, the utilization is high. And that is because no matter what the file size is, you always pay 15 milliseconds for latency. So if the file size is very small, then the time to transfer this file will be very close to the latency value. And as the file size increases, then the transfer time increases, and then eventually this latency value becomes negligible. That is why the utilization is high for the larger file sizes. Now it is saying that the utilization of 25% is acceptable. So that means if the utilization is 25% or higher, then what would be the file size at which we are going to get the 25% utilization? So we have to find the file size. Now from part A to part B, we have found the transfer time, ETR. Then using the ETR, we have found the utilization. So now we just have to go in reverse order. So this time we are given the utilization. Then using the utilization, we can find the ETR. Then using the ETR, we can find the transfer time, and using the transfer time, we can find the file size. So the formula for utilization is ETR divided by STR, and we are given the utilization as 0.25, and we have to find the ETR. We are given the STR, which is 5 Mbps. So we have to solve for ETR. So that would be 1.25 Mbps. So now we have got the ETR, and using this ETR, we can find the transfer time or the file size. Now in here, we had two formulas. One is to use them separately and then find the ETR. The other one was both combined. So this time we can use the second formula to find the file size using the ETR value. So ETR we know, which is 1.25, and that is equal to the size. So this is the size that we have to find, divided by size again, divide by speed. So the speed of the transfer is, we know it is 5 Mbps, right? This speed is referring to this streaming transfer rate. So that is equal to 5, and added to that is the latency, which is 15 milliseconds. So 15 milliseconds in seconds would be 15 divided by 1000. So if you try to solve for size, then the size you will get is 0.025 MB. That means if you transfer a file size of 0.025 MB or higher, then you will get a utilization rate which is 25% or higher. Then part D says complete the following sentence. A disk is a random access device for transfers larger than something bytes, and is a sequential access device for smaller transfers. So the part that is missing over here is we can say a disk is a random access device for transfers larger than k bytes. Now what is that k? So that k can be any value greater than the size of the disk block, Now in the last tutorial, we had a look at the disk blocks where we had to read and write from and to disk, and that was asking for the number of read write operations to the disk. So this could be any file greater than the size of the disk block, because otherwise we may spend more time in latency than actually doing the transfer. Then part E says compute the minimum transfer sizes that gives acceptable utilization for cache, memory, and type. Now, just as we have done for part C, that was for the magnetic disk, we have to do the same for part E for each of the other storage devices, which is the cache, memory, and type. Now let's first calculate for the cache. Now I'll again use these same formulas and just edit the values. So we can write here for cache. Now what is the utilization rate? It is 0.25 again, because it says that 25% is acceptable as the utilization rate. So we have the utilization rate as 0.25 equals ETR divided by the STR. Now for the cache, the streaming transfer rate is 800 Mbps. So this time we have 800. And if we find ETR from here, then we are going to get the ETR value as 200. Okay, 0.25 times 800 is 200. So now we have got the effective transfer rate for the cache. Then using that, we have to find the size of the file, which is going to give us a utilization rate of 25% or higher. So once again, the ETR value is 200 equals size divided by the speed. Speed is 800 for the cache, and the latency for the cache is 8 nanoseconds. So that is going to be 8 divided by I guess 9 zeros, right? So make sure to convert this 8 nanoseconds in seconds. So that would be 8 times 10 power negative 9 seconds. And the size of the file that we will get would be 2.24 bytes. So that means if we transfer a file of size 2.24 bytes or higher for the cache, then we will get a utilization rate of 25% or higher. The next one is for the memory. So the only thing that is going to change in these formulas is the STR value and the access latency for the respective storage devices. So the STR for the memory is 80 Mbps. So from that we will get the ETR as 20 Mbps. Then we will use the value 20 as the ETR, and the speed is 80 Mbps. The latency is 60 nanoseconds for the memory. Right, so make sure to convert this 60 nanoseconds into seconds. That is 60 times 10 power negative 9. And then you will get the size as 1.68 bytes. So if you transfer a file of size 1.68 bytes or higher, then you are going to get a utilization rate of 25% or higher. And then finally for the type, so the streaming transfer rate for the type is 2 Mbps and the access latency is 60 seconds. So plugging that into our equations, so STR is 2 and we will get the ETR as 0.5 Mbps, and then ETR, so you will use 0.5 as the ETR. The speed is 2 and the latency is 60 seconds. So this time you don't have to do any conversion. It is just 60. And the size that we are going to get is 40 MB. So for the type drive, if you transfer a file of size 40 MB or higher, then you will get a utilization rate of 25% or higher. So we can conclude two things from this. One is that a larger file size will give a higher utilization. And the other one is, if the streaming rate is very low, right, then the file size to transfer for a better utilization would be very big. And then we have part F. It says when is a type a random access device and when is it a sequential access device. So this really depends on how it is being used. For example, if we are using the type drive to store or maybe restore a backup, then in this case the type drive acts as a sequential access device, because we are storing or reading the data from one end to the other end until the data is saved or restored to the type. but a type may not be very suitable for random access because we cannot randomly go to a location, since we need to physically move through the rails until we reach the desired location, as we have seen over here. Right, we cannot go to a particular location until we physically rotate these rails. However, for this type, an example of a random access could be the songs that were stored in the types in the past. So this can be considered a random access because the songs are stored at random locations. So in that case, accessing the songs at some location is considered random. But again, you will still have to go through the reel sequentially to get to that desired song. So that's all for this video. Try to go over these questions once again and submit the solution in the Dropbox. So that's all. Thank you for watching.